current armory is stripped out because I came back to the block yesterday and found Peters staring at a lamppost, and then he pulled out a flashlight and was like, oh, there was a shooting on the block, I'm just collecting evidence. I was like, okay, yeah, all right, pal. I was like, yeah, this motherfucker was trying to put cameras. 20 minutes later, I come back, I found a camera on the lamppost facing the armory door. Tiny ass.
Damn.
Camera.
What?
So,
they know what's in there. They want it so bad.
Yeah, so
I mean, perfect time to end the war. I'll be real. That alone, regardless of how we were doing against the besties, a camera being slapped on our front door of the armory, that's war end.
It gets worse, bro. There's a very... I had no choice but to end the war yesterday, no matter what they asked. So obviously the cop shit, we emptied that place out. It's kind of wrecked in there at the moment. They're gonna, if they raid it, they're gonna know what was in there, but there's nothing in there anymore. Everything at the moment is kind of in like mechanic shop, Blondie's house, and the shed. It's just a bit scattered. Brandon called me yesterday. I met up with him. So he met up with Wyatt and got the whole plan going that he would be, you know, back doing mags.
Yeah, they sorted their beef, right?
They sorted their beef. Wyatt then had to f off for a bit, and Brandon said, okay, bet. When you come back around, put the blueprint and shit back where we had it. Brandon comes back around about 8 or 9 hours later and finds out Wyatt's dead.
Like dead?
Dead. Executed, mag dumped, body turned into a sponge, dead.
Ah, good old Edgar.
Yeah, Edgar. And he's not sure exactly what happened. My theory is...
Definitely Edgar. Edgar found out about their meeting or agreement or something, probably.
Found out about it, but the thing is how, right? Because it was fresh. It was only hours old. The only people that knew about it was Brandon and Wyatt and us, right? We were tucked up in bed. We didn't know any details either. Wyatt cut his hand open in front of Brandon and made a blood pact that he wasn't going to betray him. And from asking Brandon about shit, it sounds like... I never spoke to Wyatt. I don't know if you have, but it sounds like Wyatt...
No, I never met him.
Brandon said he was a bad liar, and that he wouldn't, like, he'd be obvious if shit was going wrong if you pressed him hard enough. So I think Edgar, being Edgar, noticed the cut on his hand and isn't dumb. He's probably made a fair few blood packs in his own life. Noticed the blood pack cut, and then pressed them about it. Found out some shit and then killed him. But it gets worse. Wyatt's properties then got locked down and raided by the police.
Oh my god, don't tell me he didn't move the blueprint.
He didn't move the blueprint.
So you're telling me besties are the only people?
Yep. They're the only people that can supply mags.
Just a big guy know about that.
Yeah.
Did Brandon know what his reaction was to it?
Well, originally it was like when he found out Wyatt was dead, he kind of told Brandon he needs to get... It's on him to get the shit. Right? And then Brandon at the time was like, yeah, no problem, because he had told Wyatt where to put it. He went there. There's no sign of any of it. So all his properties are locked down. We're assuming it was raided because obviously he's dead. The dead people have no rights, so they could have done whatever they wanted.
You know what's bad about that? If he had any sort of faceless shit in the house with that blueprint, that could be cooked. Because if he's storing a blueprint there, it's obviously a house he thought was very secure, so there's probably more shit in there than just that.
Well, that's the next thing. Met up with Charlie last night to discuss tonight, and he pulled me and Shang aside and said there's new passwords. So I think it's a safe assumption
they got a chip.
They got it. Wyatt's chip. So just so you know, the password now is what it was, except it's ended with DT763.
Oh.
So it's the same password and then ended with DT763. They're all caps.
Thank God I weren't the one to get the password changed, and it was him though. No, that was a close one.
Might want to get the chip out of here then, just in case.
Yeah.
Now that you can. Because once I found that out last night, bro, if cops made a move on your house, we would have had no choice but to try to defend it. Because if they have Wyatt's BP and chip, they would have took your chip too, because they now know what it's linked to. Beforehand, it would have been the first time them seeing it. They might have just skipped over it and not took it, right?
Issue is, I might be wrong. Pretty sure the app has an owl on it, no? On the logo. Now, when you look at it on the tablet, let me check real quick. It's down here, so. The reason I say that is because when I got brought into interrogation a couple of days ago, middle of the war, Opal gave me a Faceless book and was like, does this mean anything to you? And that's got the owl on it as well. So if the logos match, wouldn't take a genius. Yeah, it does. It's the same logo. It literally says Faceless on it. Like, it's very hard to see, but it's the same logo as on the front of the book. So if they got that chip and they put it in a tablet and opened it, they'll know immediately it's to do with the Faceless.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's... blueprint could still be in the house. More than likely, it's not. More than likely, the cops have it. And the Faceless...
Or Edgar. Those are the only two options I see.
Or Edgar. But if Edgar has it, it's bad, I think. Because obviously, if he's killed Wyatt and then taken that blueprint for himself, I don't see the big man being happy with that. He's almost making the decisions for him at that point, right?
Hey, now, one positive. A Faceless might be looking for a new mag plug.
Yeah, there is a gap in the market, and what better than the current mag plug's biggest rival?
I feel like even if it wasn't us, it could very easily be Brandon.
I don't know. Brandon thinks he's dead. Brandon thinks the big guy's going to kill him.
Why would he kill him?
Because he couldn't get the shit back. And he said some things. Like, for example, yesterday, Charlie punched Brandon in the meeting and said something along the lines of, there's more coming his way, or some shit. You know, like, hinting that he's going to be hurt.
But he's doing this shit with us today, no?
Yeah.
So they didn't axe him from the mission.
Nope.
But then again, why would you? They'll use him for his work and axe him later if they're gonna. I'm
going to be honest. Either he's overreacting. He's the one that spoke to big guy, right? So, but he could be overreacting. It could be just trying to scare him. There's a couple of outcomes I see of this situation. They do blame him for it, and they want to do harm to him. And therefore, he won't be the plug. And I can see them making somebody do the job to Brandon to earn the plug.
Potentially.
And I'm not going to lie, I could see him asking me or you to do it.
Could be. Could happen.
The way he always plays the... Is there anybody you wouldn't do it to, bro? This is like... From his point of view, this is the perfect way to test if you were lying in that meeting. Yeah,
it's true. It just depends if it's at that point of him being full. Because if
he could just be trying to scare him and he's not going to kill him.
I would be very surprised if he's fully axed out to the point of they want to kill him. But
same.
If they do, it's not a bad shout from you there.
I just think we need to be prepared for it.
If we get asked to kill Brandon yesterday, and this guy's been in the Manor a week, that's got to be one of the worst introductions into a gang in history.
Yeah.
But equally, we've made people do that in the past.
Yep.
So it's about time karma comes around for us.
Yep. They're saying that could be completely over dramatic.
Yeah, we could.
We're prepared for the worst outcome, okay?
Always.
The mission tonight is happening at 9.
Thank God it's early.
There is this is where it gets bad, bro. I'm going to be honest. So I agreed with Forehead to pay the 3 million and end the war, okay? And I go, listen, I'm going to be in a meeting for 30 minutes. I'll hit you up afterwards and I'll pay you the money, right? I walk into the meeting. Charlie's there. All the boys are there except you, obviously, right? We're bombing Kyle Pred's court case. Knowing that was going on, like that's it. It's aimed at that. No, it's a coincidence that he has a court case on the day it's agreed to happen.
God.
But
oh my God. Listen, if they got their pants in a twist over a shooting at when they're coming out of the VU, bombing them, court case. Listen, this is the thing. It's fine. We just cannot get caught. We can't get caught, and if we do, chalked. But here's the thing. I cooked, right? Because you know the plan about planting one upstairs, planting one downstairs, all these things, right? Yeah. Obviously, now we have a court case to deal with at the same time. So that just makes the job so much more difficult anyway, but yeah. Yes, but there's going to be more traffic coming to and from. But we're going to wait for the court case to start before we enter, right? So most of the traffic is going to be in there. I then came up with the idea of we're going to enter as construction. And we're going to close off the front and side entrances and only allow people in through the back entrance to the elevator. So the elevator works so they can actually go up. So then they can just completely bypass where we need to do shit. Yeah.
We're doing our shit, and they can go to and from the courthouse. Done. That should eliminate. Because think of it this way, right? Imagine Future and Forehead come strolling into Kyle Pred's court case, and me. And
yeah, we're sat there wiring a bomb.
And we say, "Can't come in, mate. Not today. You know, it's over 21s today, mate. Sorry. Come back tomorrow." They're going to get obviously quite pressed about it, and it's going to get spicy. But if we have a whole decoy and be like, "Goes for construction, take the back entrance," they're just going to walk around, take the back entrance, up the elevator, job done. Also, Charlie put it as it might be a terrorism charge. Silas read off his booklet he's going to put with the bomb, bro. This is 100% terrorism, bro. We're being supplied with thermal goggles, grapple guns, smoke grenades.
To be fair, the thermals will be very helpful, because if someone's coming downstairs, you'll know before they get to the bottom of the staircase. Trust me.
So that's the plan. There's going to be 2 people downstairs, 5 of us upstairs, and we just need to make sure no one comes into the main lobby.
The downstairs is light work, to be honest. Unless, actually, the court case still makes that more complicated. Because if a marshal comes to the court case, they'll probably go in that way. And if it's Kyle Pred, someone that literally finessed the marshals out of $10 million for a jetpack, I can imagine there's going to be quite a strong marshal presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So neither of them are easy, to be honest.
But hopefully this is why we do it after the fact, right?
Hopefully.
They'll be up there already. And then we do it.
Are we still exiting through the helicopter? So
no.
Anything change on the plan that I need to know?
We're not getting a heli. Brandon's going to put his plane in the canals, which is a 5-seater.
Okay, good.
We're going to also have parachutes, but we're also going to have just cars. Right? We're going to have multiple. Because here's the thing. The plan will be we'll get the bombs down and we'll clear the area before people even realize we're there. If that case, we can just exit in cars and sit back and watch the chaos. If we get caught doing it, then we're going to have to get the out of there and go for like the plane.
Yeah, there is 7, but it's like an approved thing. Let me
get away, right? The reason why the plane's a backup is because obviously it's Brandon's plane. It's marked by ATC. It's trackable. Just don't want to use it.
Yeah, you don't want to go there straight away, bombing, and then all of a sudden there's a plane with 7 people in it in the sky.
Exactly. So, yeah, pretty eventful day yesterday. The war's over. We're not taxed at the VU. We can't get mags unless we buy them off besties. And we're committing terrorism in T-minus 3 hours.
The terrorism is the most exciting part of all of that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I love stuff like this, but I also have a track record with getting stung. Nothing's ever simple.
Listen, bro.
Just the way I like it.
We need to make sure if both of us get stung tonight, bro, it is chalked.
You know why? You know what's even worse? It means if we both go down, we go prison, and we get like the 9s or whatever the fuck the charge is, and then besties find out about it, and then they start warring, and me and you are both in pen. It's gonna be a full-on besties war where morale is already so down from the previous one, where we aren't there to have any input or organize anything. Oh my god, bro. Oh, it would be terrible.
Yeah, pretty high stakes.
Oh, it would be rough. We would come out of prison
to no gang.
To nothing.
Yeah, no gang. We'd have to just ride off with the helicopter and a Bugatti and
just
start life somewhere.
Just have to come out, get the cash, and call it quits. To be honest, though, it's weird because it probably wouldn't even get to that point. But I think if Forehead was ordered to do some shit, he's gonna do it because he works for the same guy. But probably doesn't make a difference.
Well, here's my logic, right? Let's say we do this. We're obviously doing it for the big man. And besties get hurt in it. And then the besties try to do something to us. Surely we can just go to the big man and say, you know, they're trying to kill us over the shit you wanted us to do. Talk to Forehead. Sort it out. Obviously a bit...
Yeah, tell him back off or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't think, even if they find out, we shouldn't tell them that we're the ones to go get... Like, we shouldn't... Like, if Forehead calls and it's like, why the fuck did you blow up the courthouse? We don't say it was to do with the Faceless. We let him be the one. Hello? Oh. But yeah, we're gonna need all sorts of shit ready to go. One thing I think that will benefit us is no one ever is expecting what we're about to do tonight.
No.
So
bro, no one's
we're gonna be way more prepared than the people that could catch us. But that doesn't mean things can't go wrong.
Bro, I don't think a cop has seen these things in like 7 years.
Exactly. That I don't think they'd not even a thought.
You remember when we did it, the shuttle?
Yeah.
Pretty fucked
Hop
up now
the
I think
fence.
about it. First day I met Tommy T, and he brings me to bomb something.
Yep. That was the Roosters Rest War. What a war it was.